Over the last 5 years, Minecraft updates have been pretty formulaic. Each one changes or adds a biome, adds some new blocks and mobs, and occasionally we get new tools and weapons. And some of these updates are pretty big, while others not so much. But it seems like no matter what Mojang does, there's a large chunk of the community who is never satisfied with the quantity of content brought to an update and feels like Mojang should be doing more. And for the most part, I kind of agree, but not really for the same reasons. A lot of things we always hear about is the desire for an update to the end dimension or the desire for a new dimension entirely. And while I definitely want these things, especially an end update, as it's one of my favorite places to build, I'm not really sure we need them per se. Now, let me be clear. There's a big difference between need and want. I really want those updates, but I honestly think if Mojang were to just never do them for some reason, the game would probably be fine. What I think Mojang needs to do is innovate on the core aspect of the game itself. The central point of the game that makes Minecraft so great, building. We need an update to building and everything that goes with it. And as for the title of this video, when I say Mojang can save Minecraft, I don't mean to imply that the game would die if they didn't do any of this. Minecraft is such a fundamentally fantastic game that I think if Mojang stopped updating the game tomorrow and decided to never update the game again, it would still have a pretty dedicated player base probably forever. But what I think they need to save it from is becoming stale. And I don't think the annual mob plus biome update is gonna do the trick. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, by the way. I'm trying to reach 250,000 subscribers before the end of the year, so it would absolutely make my day if you did. Now, an update to building could go a couple different ways, but let me really quickly explain to you why I think it's so important for the game in the first place. Let me know if this sounds familiar. The 2-week Minecraft phase. We've all heard of it, we've all experienced it multiple times probably, but why 2 weeks? What's so special about this specific allotment of time? Why not 2 months or 2 years? Well, after 2 weeks, we've probably built our first house, started up some farms, gotten some diamonds, killed the Ender Dragon, gotten Elytra, upgraded to Netherite, fought the Wither, got some beacons, upgraded our base, but now what? Well, we could make our base bigger. Yeah, but that's gonna take a long time. Well, we could build a new, really big farm. I don't know. Redstone's pretty hard. Kinda takes a while. Okay, well, what if we, let's just go play zombies, okay? You run out of things to do. Well, not really, but the effort to do these things in endgame Minecraft, like building a mega base or a super powerful farm, is just too much for what the payoff is worth to a lot of players. So they quit. When you first start out your world, the length of time between accomplishments is much shorter and requires much less effort. The time length of upgrading from stone tools to iron is super quick, and then from iron to diamond is a little bit longer. But as you progress through the game, the time commitment required to achieve new goals gets longer and longer and longer. And this spot right here is where I think Mojang needs to update. Make it easier and more rewarding for the player to build and achieve the goals that they set. Boom. But how do they do this? Well, I've come up with 6 genius suggestions of things they could update or add to help in this area just a little. Ranging from things that are more probable, and I honestly think Mojang could add tomorrow if they really wanted to, all the way to things that probably, no matter how much I want them to, will never be added to the game, but are still cool concepts. And a quick disclaimer, okay? These are just some of my ideas that I wanted to share and I think would be good. If you think I'm stupid or wrong or missing something, or you have an idea of your own, let me know down in the comments and like the video while you're down there as well. Number 1, instant pickup. I know we've all had that moment where you're building on a bridge or adding some details to a high up location on a ceiling or ledge or something, and whoops, we misplace a block. No problem, I'll just break it and it fell all the way down. This addition could literally be something as simple as like a game rule or accessibility setting, where when you break a block, it doesn't pop out into item form like normal, but instead is transferred directly into your inventory. Obviously, this would only work for blocks that you break yourself, so it wouldn't do anything for like explosions or creepers or anything like that. Alternatively, maybe this could be added in the form of an item that you get, maybe something that you hold in your offhand, like a type of magnet or something, so that you never lose a block to the void or off the ledge of a mountain again. And the ability to instantly pick things up would only get better if Mojang added the second item on this list as well, instant organize. If you've ever played games like Terraria or Satisfactory, then you know what I'm talking about here. Literally, and I know this is very complicated, a button that when you press it, it organizes your inventory. It would leave your hotbar alone, since of course everybody has their own preferences for how to organize that. Mine is objectively the best, by the way. But it would sort certain items together in your inventory and combine stacks of items that are spread out throughout your inventory. This could work on any container in the game, your personal inventory, all chest types, including ender chests, and even shulker boxes. Something like this would make managing storage in general gameplay so much more convenient and would be an amazing quality of life change. I really don't see a reason Mojang can't add something like this. And with the ability to organize our inventory and shulker boxes so easily, it would make managing the third item on our list so much easier, which is inventory-based shulker box access. Mojang's addition of shulker boxes has been the biggest and frankly only update to Minecraft's inventory ever. Heck no, I'm not counting the bundles. And this addition would simply allow you to open and use your shulker boxes directly from your inventory. Imagine how much time you could save if you dedicated like the top 9 slots of your inventory to shulker boxes. You could even fill up your entire inventory if you wanted, although you'd probably want to leave some space for extra items so you wouldn't have to constantly be refilling. But if we had something like this, we could save so much time on building large structures. That few seconds it takes to either put down a shulker box and take the items out of it, or to fly to a location where you've laid out all your shulker boxes to get more items, that kind of compounds over time. Not to mention the inevitable chest monster that always ends up getting created when you're building really large builds. And some people might think this is a little bit overpowered, but we can already increase our inventory size with the shulker boxes how they are, so who cares if we make them just a little bit better? I think making the quality of life for the building process better can only really help when it comes to improving the game. And okay, if being able to open shulker boxes directly from your inventory seems like a little bit too much, then what if we just do one shulker box in the form of this next item? Literally just a backpack. Using some leather, iron ingots, and a chest, we could craft up a backpack to easily double our inventory size. I struggled a bit on where to rank this one in comparison to the ability to open shulker boxes from your inventory, because intuitively, I feel like this would be more likely to be added to the game than the former. But imagine if you can hold an extra 27 shulker boxes and not have it impact your normal inventory. Now, that seems a little bit strong to me, but still, it's a quality of life change. Who cares how strong it is? Making the game easier to play and therefore allowing more players to express their creativity is just always a good thing, how I see it. At least in a single player or survival world, which is where the majority of the players are anyway. And maybe if crafting an item like this seems a little bit too easy, then maybe we could limit it to only finding it in a certain location, like a trial chamber or something. And maybe we can't wear it at the same time as our elytra, or you can't take it off when it's full. There's so many things Mojang could do to fit an item like this in the Minecraft sandbox without disrupting too much. But you know what? Screw the Minecraft sandbox. Mojang could fix all of our storage and inventory problems easily with our next suggestion on the list, and this one might be a little bit crazy. The quantum chest. Now, this idea is kind of in 2 parts and would go perfectly with an end update or even an entire new dimension. So Mojang, listen up. So you have the quantum chest by itself, which can't be crafted. This is very important. You can't craft it. But instead, you could only find it in a new structure. And this structure is super dangerous. Think like the ancient city with the warden, but it flies and shoots lasers. Well, the warden kind of already shoots lasers, but anyway, you would find the chest here, and if you were to put any items in it, they would disappear. And the only way to get them back is by killing our flying laser warden and getting the crafting materials from it to craft up the quantum shulker or something like that. And this may look like any other shulker, but when you open it, you have a full creative menu with a search bar and everything, but you could only access items that have been stored via the quantum chest. And to balance it out so that we don't have an infinite inventory, maybe you could limit the storage to 9 stacks of any given block or item, like a dispenser or a dropper. And if there's any Satisfactory players watching right now, this may look a little bit familiar. This would allow on-demand access to any item you could possibly need at any given time, assuming you've collected and stored it already via the quantum chest. Now, I know we already have the ender chest, which serves a similar purpose of being able to be accessed from anywhere, but this is almost like an ender chest on steroids, able to hold way more items, but is really only used as backup for extra items that you may need at any given time. And with our 9 slot limit that I suggested, and maybe not allowing it to store filled shulker boxes, the ender chest would still have its place and wouldn't really be made obsolete. Another function that this could have is by allowing hopper support for it. Imagine you could connect the quantum chest to one of your farms, and whenever you were to use some of the items, they would automatically be replenished. This would be the ultimate solution to Minecraft's inventory problem that has plagued the game since day one. Whoa, 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 whoa. Wilds. I thought this video was about a building update. Why do all of these suggestions only pertain to inventory issues. Well, dude, don't you see? Inventory management and building are two sides of the same coin. You can't build anything if you don't have blocks, and managing the blocks in your inventory in the form that it is right now kind of sucks. But you're right, there should be one update to building, and it should have happened in 1.21 when that crab was supposed to win the mob vote, and we were supposed to get those gloves that extend your reach. But that competition was rigged. I swear it was. No, but in all seriousness, Mojang could add one update to building that would completely revolutionize all of Minecraft, both for survival and even creative to some extent, in the form of our next suggestion, the quantum synthesizer. Now, the idea for this item is pretty simple. With 2 clicks, you would select point A and point B of a limited area and copy the information of the blocks within that area. And with another click, as long as you have those blocks in your inventory, you could paste and instantly build all of those blocks in a separate location. A vanilla instant copy paste item similar to the Lightmatica mod. Now, I know Mojang will never add an item like this to the game, not in a million years. It fundamentally nukes the core of the Minecraft gameplay loop, which is just breaking and placing one block at a time. But think about it, if they were to limit the strength of an item like this, say to an area of 10 by 10 or even 5 by 5 blocks, you could come up with some really cool ideas of something that you like, maybe for a wall or a floor, and be able to piece together a much larger build infinitely easier than if you were to just build it by hand. And this length of time that haunts the distance between setting a goal and completing it in Minecraft's endgame would be drastically shortened. And with that, endgame Minecraft could be so much more accessible to so many more people who just either don't have the motivation or the time to do some super cool things that maybe they would be able to do otherwise. And just like with the quantum chest, it would have to be super hard to get, locked away in a super dangerous location somewhere. And maybe you could even have a durability meter like a pickaxe or any other tool. And maybe you could limit it by not allowing it to have the mending enchantment per se, so that you would have to go get more if it were to break. Now, I'm not blind. I know an item like this would cause a massive wave of controversy in the community. A lot of people would probably not like the idea of an item that erodes the core concept of just breaking and placing blocks, which is what makes Minecraft such a classic. But I mean, these are just some of my ideas that I thought were cool and I thought I'd share. And whether they were to cause controversy or not, they definitely would bring a lot of players in who would just want to try them out. But hey, don't worry, it's not like Mojang is going to add any of these ideas anyway. Like the video for the algorithm, subscribe to get more content, and become a channel member for early access to videos and exclusive content. That's all I got. See ya.